Hello everybody, this is Technoli, and today we've got this beautiful tiny mini micro Dell Optiplex 3020 Hackintosh i5 processor. This is a 4570T with 8 gigabytes of RAM, and I stuck a 240 gig SSD drive in it, which I'm going to show you how to do. It's so simple on this thing. So there it is, cute as can be, tiny little guy. Let me compare it with my hand here. You see, that's all the bigger it is. All right, now let's look around the back. We've got, how many USBs does a guy need? So we've got DisplayPort. Now this right here is your AC adapter. You want to make sure when you pick one of these up off eBay or wherever you get one that it comes with the AC adapter. If not, you can get a generic one, or there's tons of them on eBay. DisplayPort, VGA, not going to use this, it won't work. We've got all of these USBs, 4 here, 2 more on the other side, and we've got, of course, our Ethernet. Now this little screw right here is how you take off the cover. Okay, and then you just slide it forward, just like, okay, just like that. And in here, is that cute or what? There's your hard drive, solid state hard drive. Okay. This did not come with a bracket, again, because these are corporate returns and they're so lazy. All they do is pull out the hard drives with the bracket. So, no big deal. I'll stick it in there like that. And that's it. That's all there is to this little guy. And it's just cute as can be. All right, let's get started on this one. Okay guys, so we've got a couple of files that we're going to need. I'm going to give you my complete EFI folder here, and that's in the description below. And then we're also going to need Clover Configurator, okay? Now we're going to go ahead and show you how to build the bootloader on this one. And this one acts a little funny compared to the last Lenovo Tiny 93 that we did. So it's a little bit different. You may want to pay attention to the video when we're actually installing the operating system. Okay, and then at the end of the video, I'm going to show you a couple of things that we also need to do to make everything work properly. But right now, I'm going to show you Geekbench on this one because it's not bad at all. I did a test on it and I was kind of surprised. So we'll run that. And then when this is done, we will come back with the results. Okay guys, so here's our score, 681 on the single and 1530. Let's see what that compares with. So we'll go over here and we'll go to Mac, benchmark chart. So again, that's 681. So let's go down here to 681. And that is going to be kind of, here's 682. That's like a MacBook Pro Retina from early 2013, and that was an i7 processor. Amazing. And then one just a little higher than that, we had an i5 MacBook Pro. So not a bad score. This isn't the fastest computer in the world, but certainly usable. I mean, we've got a lot of people still using our MacBook Pros from 13 and 14. So there we go on that. Now, right now I'm using the screen capture program, and I know you guys get upset that the screen is not crisp and everything, but when I'm doing the install, the actual install of the program, I just have to screenshot with a camera the actual monitor because, you know, we're booting and everything else, so we're not hooked up like we can do with doing a screen capture. So I apologize for that, but just bear with it. We're going to show you how to install this one. And let's get to it. Now I almost forgot to tell you guys, on this build, you're going to make that vanilla bootloader from my other video. So just go over to YouTube. If you can't find my channel, just go over to YouTube and type in Technolli right up here, Tech, N-O-L-L-I. Hit enter, and you want to go to this Easy Vanilla Hackintosh guide, okay? So what you want to do is you want to watch this video until like 7 minutes, a little over 7 minutes. Let's see here. Yeah. Almost 8 minutes. Right before we start doing the Clover bootloader and configurator. So you're just going to make the vanilla USB drive, and then I'm going to show you what to do with the EFI folder that's down in the description. Okay? Alrighty. Okay guys, so you've got your flash drive ready to go, and we're going to put it in the computer, and you're going to copy over this EFI folder into the EFI partition of the USB you just made up. So let's use Clover Configurator, and we will mount the EFI partition. Okay, so we're going to mount the one on our, right here, on our Catalina USB installer. I'll just put in our password. Okay, so there's the partition. Now in here, we've got an EFI folder, but on yours that you're doing, you may not have a folder at all, or you may have just EFI, but I don't think you'll have anything. You're going to drag my folder you downloaded into this EFI partition, okay? And you're going to click Replace, just like that. All right. So now we've got our root boot drive right here, and we've got the EFI partition on the USB. So let's go ahead and eject these, and let's get into those BIOS settings. And on the BIOS settings on this one are really, really, really important. So let's pay close attention to that one. So let's restart. And on this computer, you hit the F2 key because it's a Dell to get into the BIOS. F2, F2. F2, and let's see, there we go. All right, so first thing we want to do is load our defaults. So right here, load defaults. Then you're going to come over here, and you can use the arrow keys or use your mouse, whatever you want. And we want everything to look identical to these screens. This one was a little bit of a struggle for me to get to work, but it had a lot to do with the BIOS settings. So we'll just boot sequence. You have to have UEFI mode, okay? And advanced boot options, you can leave enable legacy options is fine. Date and time is no biggie, except it needs to be correct. Integrated NIC card is enabled. You've got to have this SATA operation on AHCI. Drives, we're not worried about. We don't care about this. USB, everything's turned on, and audio is turned on. Now let's go down to security. Everything in here can stay as default. Yeah, we didn't do anything with this. Secure boot, we have to have that disabled, all right? Performance, you can leave everything enabled, okay? All this stuff, default, virtual post behavior, but just by default. Virtualization support can be enabled on this one, and everything else is just like you see here. Maintenance, cloud desktop, and all that doesn't matter. All right, so we'll just click exit. Now, if you made changes, you're going to click apply, which is right here. So let me make a change. Okay, and I'm going to click apply. So once you do that, all your settings are saved, and then you can go ahead and click exit. Make sure your USB is in there, and let's press the F12 key to get to the boot menu. Okay. All right, so we want UEFI boot, and we want our SanDisk, or whatever your thumb drive's called. And just hit enter. Now everything is set up for you right here. Your verbose mode is set up. It's all ready to go. So just hit enter on your USB boot drive. It's going to go through here for a little while. This does take a little bit of time. It should not get stuck. If you get stuck on a screen, then something's wrong and we need to visit what your problem is. Now guys, I have to be really clear to you that just because this bootloader is working on this computer does not mean it's going to work on a different computer, a different motherboard, a different system. Like I said, this boot sequence on this one, the config.p list, the drivers are different than even the Lenovo tiny PC that we did. So, you know, sometimes guys think, you know, well, it works on that one or it'll work on different ones. Not necessarily, okay? A lot of time and effort goes into these. So I really can't tell you, oh yeah, it's gonna work or it's not gonna work. You can try it. There's no harm in trying. Whatever I'm doing here, you certainly try it on your computers that you may have that you wanna try. Okay, when this comes up to the next step, we'll continue. Okay, now it's coming up. Now remember, when I showed you the first part of this video, you have to be plugging into the display port. Now sometimes on this computer, it was really strange. When I first started to do the install, it got to this point and the screen went black, but then it came back to about where it is right here. And then it continued. So if yours goes black, don't be concerned, just let it sit for a second or two until you see the screen pop back on automatically. It doesn't mean that it's an error. Guess what time it is? This is a great time to subscribe to the channel. My God, you guys have gotten me up so far and I'm already getting way further ahead than I ever thought I would, and it's all thanks to you guys. I really appreciate it. If you like my videos, if you want to subscribe, please do so. All right, so here we go. It's coming up to the point where we can format that hard drive and get going. Now I am doing this on the actual Dell Optiplex 3020 that you saw in the beginning of the video, which I shot the screen capture on. So we are going to erase the hard drive that I just did, and we're going to continue with this one. All right, so go ahead and select your language and click the arrow down here. Okay, let's go ahead and go to Disk Utility. Click Continue. And when we get in this screen, we want to go down here and select Show All Devices. Because see, if you don't, you won't see your hard drive there. So we're going to click on my hard drive. This is just a SSD drive. And we're going to erase it. And I'm going to call it CAT, let's see, 3020 is the model of this. You can name it whatever you want. We're going to choose the format mode to be APFS, and we definitely want GUID partition map. Click Erase. Okay, that's pretty quick. So let's go out of here and we'll go up to Install Mac OS, click Continue. We do have our Ethernet cable connected, so we're good to go. Continue, agree, agree. Select our hard drive we just formatted and install. Now this will get up a little ways here and then it'll reboot automatically. Don't freak out, it's supposed to do that. And this one's a little different than the other ones that we've done, so watch carefully. Okay, it says about 5 minutes remaining, but it's not going to last too long before it reboots. Well, about 3 minutes remaining. It sure is hanging in there. A little longer than I remembered the first time. But we'll watch it here and see where it reboots. Ah, there it goes. So it's at about 2 minutes remaining and it rebooted. Leave your USB stick in there. We still got a boot from it. But we don't need to go into the F12 BIOS. We just need to make sure that we select now that we're on the hard drive. So that's my CAT 3020. So I'm going to arrow down to there and hit enter. It goes a little bit faster now once it gets onto the hard drive and not that USB. All right, coming up again. Let's see what happens. Now, if it gets stuck on that previous boot screen anywhere, just hang in there for a little bit of time and make sure it passes everything. Okay, let's see what happens now. I think this is where it goes to continuing. Of course it does. So installing. Let's see how long it lasts right here. About 12 minutes remaining. Ah, that's what it was. That's what freaked me out. Because that's different than the last one of these that we did on the Lenovo. It restarts pretty quick. Leave your USB in there. We got to come back around again, same thing. And we got to make sure we're booting from the hard drive. Yeah, arrow down, select that hard drive. Always gets stuck on that line. This is where I was talking about before. Just it'll go past it. Okay, we're coming back again. Looks like the same as the last boot up, and it pretty much is, but it does change. Okay guys, once we get here, it says about 12 minutes remaining again. It's going to pretty much go clear across. So just hang in there, we'll come back. All right, jumping back in here, it says about 5 minutes remaining. And if I'm not mistaken, this does go completely across, and then it reboots on its own again. So let's check it out. Less than a minute. Oh, okay. All right. It's going to automatically restart here, and it's counting down. Leave your USB in there because we need to boot from it again. We're going to make sure that it is going to boot when it comes up here. We're going to make sure that we're booting from the hard drive. Okay, so yeah. Right down there. Now we want to boot macOS from CAT 3020. Alrighty. Now we should be able to start finishing up our install. Okay. Let's see what happens. Hey guys, we got a lot of videos coming up. This week I've got another small computer to do, and I've got another Ryzen ITX coming out. That should be fun. Haven't done it yet, so stay tuned for that one. Make sure you're subscribed and click that bell to notify you when it comes out. Okay, let's select our country. Go all the way down here to US. All right. And click continue. Continue. We have our LAN cable connected. So, but I'm still not going to log into the Apple website. Agree. Just give it a name and a password, okay? All right. Catalina. All right, we'll go ahead and enable location services and turn off analytics. We'll set screen time up later. Series enabled, that's good. Now this particular build took a few different kex drivers than some of the other builds, but we got it working. I'm going to select dark mode. It looks good on this one. Okay, let's tell it what kind of keyboard we have. All right, notice our bar down here is transparent. Let's go over here to sound. And yep, there's our outputs, including HDMI. And the input on this one does work. That's what I was using for my screen capture, but it does work. We'll go ahead and show volume in the menu bar. All right. Now, we can go to About This Mac on this one, and it shows the Intel Iris Pro. Well, actually, this is an Intel HD 4600 chipset, but we are in high def accelerated graphics mode. I've got 8 GB in this one, and there it is showing our processor. All right, now we've got our Clover configurator. I saved it to my boot drive, so you probably want to do that too in the beginning. All right, so what we're going to use is Clover configurator to go ahead and mount the EFI partitions on both the USB and the hard drive. Okay, so I'm going to mount the one on the USB, put in our password. Okay, so there's the EFI folder, showed up, and then we're going to, or EFI partition, and then we're going to mount the EFI partition on the hard drive. Just click Open Partition. Okay, there it is. Go ahead and close configurator for now. So in here, we've got our EFI folder. Okay, this is what from our boot drive. And as you can see, this one is incomplete. This is the one on the hard drive. So let's copy the one from the USB into the hard drive and click Replace. Now we don't need the USB drive to boot. Okay? All right, now let's go ahead and open up Clover Configurator again, and we'll click on Mount EFI, Open Partition on the hard drive, double click on Clover, right click on config.plist, open it up with Clover, and we'll go ahead and we can remove right here this -V, which will get rid of the verbose mode if you don't want to see that every time it boots. So we'll get rid of that and click Save. And then we want to go down to SM BIOS. I've already got it set up to the best performance for this particular build. And you want to generate your new serial numbers here and SM UUID numbers. This is so you can log into the Apple Store with no problems. I have not tested this with FaceTime or iMessage yet, but I will. All right, let's go ahead and reboot. Go out of Clover and reboot the computer. So here's the bonus, guys. iMessage and everything is working on this computer. Now, in order for this to work properly, there's a couple of things you have to do, and I'm going to show you on another video, but I just wanted to show you that it is working here. All right, so there we go. Restarted, back up, working. Let's go over here to whatever. I like to go to YouTube. And everything is working on this computer. What a great little computer for $100. Another one. So, like I said, on eBay with this one, and I'm going to show you the one I bought on here. Okay, here it is. This is the one I bought. So this little Dell was $55. It did not come with a CPU, RAM, or hard drive. So you're going to pick up a cheap little SATA hard drive, and you're going to pick up some RAM, and I'll leave you details down below, and a CPU if you buy it this way. But you're going to see a lot of these. Dell Optiplex 3020 Mini. Okay, we want the Mini or Micro. All right, so you'll see them in here, all ready to go and configured. So here's a good one right here. This has everything included. CPU has 4 gigabytes of RAM. I'd rather see you have 8 gigabytes. Here's one here, same thing. Here's one with 8 gigabytes, a little more than I'd want to pay. So just keep looking for these, just like we did on the other one. And you'll find the best deal. Yeah, here's one here for $89. So you'll find them on here. Pick one of these up and have a good time with it. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye.